You know what's strange? There are people watching this right now who have no idea how powerful their presence actually is, and I mean that. Not in a motivational way, not in a feel-good way, I mean psychologically real. Because while you're just existing, walking into rooms, minding your business, something shifts. Not loudly, not in a way you can easily point to, but subtly. People notice. Some go quiet around you. Some become a little more alert. Some feel the need to impress you, without even knowing why. And you're just being yourself, unaware that your presence is being felt before you even say a word, that your energy is speaking before your voice ever does. And the strange part is, the more natural you are, the less you try, the more powerful that effect becomes. Someone else is overthinking your silence. Someone else is intimidated by your energy. Someone else can't stop thinking about you, and they don't even know why. And the craziest part, you don't see it. Not because it's not there, but because the mind is not designed to see its own impact clearly. And this is exactly what Carl Jung tried to explain, that the most powerful parts of who we are live in the unconscious, hidden, felt by others, but invisible to us. So today, we're going to uncover something most people never realize in their entire life. The psychological proof that you're more attractive than you think. Not just physically, but energetically, emotionally, unconsciously, and once you see it, you won't be able to unsee it. Let's start with a truth that might surprise you. You are the worst person to judge your own attractiveness, and that's not an insult. It's psychology. Your brain is wired for familiarity, not objectivity. You've seen your face, your expressions, your habits, thousands of times, so nothing about you feels special to you anymore. But to someone else, you're new, you're unpredictable, you're intriguing, and the human brain is deeply attracted to what it cannot fully predict. That's why people sometimes stare at you, and you think, is something wrong with me? No. What's happening is, their brain is trying to figure you out. There's something deeper happening beneath the surface, something Jung called projection. And this changes everything. Projection is when people unconsciously place their own desires, fears, and fantasies onto you. So when someone looks at you, they're not just seeing you, they're seeing what you represent to them. Peace, mystery, confidence, danger, desire. This is why two people can perceive you completely differently. One person feels calm around you, another feels intimidated, another feels drawn, almost magnetically. Same you, different projections, so when people react strongly to your presence, it's not random, it's psychological. Sign 1. People act different around you. Have you ever noticed this? Someone is completely normal, until they start talking to you, then suddenly they become awkward, they overtalk, they avoid eye contact, or hold it too long. That shift? That's attraction mixed with uncertainty, because when someone feels something intense, but doesn't understand it, their behavior becomes inconsistent. Attraction isn't always smooth. Sometimes it's messy. Sign 2. They watch you, even when you're not looking. This is one people rarely talk about. You won't always catch them staring directly, but you'll feel it. That subtle awareness that someone's attention is on you, because attraction creates focus, and focus creates observation. People study what fascinates them, not consciously, but instinctively. Sign 3. They pull away after getting close. This one confuses people the most. Someone seems interested, then suddenly becomes distant, hot, then cold. And you start thinking, did I do something wrong? But often, you didn't. What you're seeing is internal conflict. Part of them feels drawn to you. Another part feels overwhelmed by the intensity, so they retreat. Not because they don't feel anything, but because they feel too much. Sign 4. You trigger people without trying. Have you ever had someone dislike you, and you couldn't figure out why? You didn't say anything wrong. You didn't do anything to them. And yet, there's tension. That's not about you. That's projection again. Sometimes your presence reflects something in them they're not ready to face. Your confidence reminds them of their insecurity. Your calmness reminds them of their chaos. Your independence reminds them of their fear of being alone. So instead of understanding it, they resist you. Sign 5. People remember you easily. You might think you're forgettable. But notice this. People remember small details about you. Things you said casually. Moments you didn't even think mattered. Because when someone is psychologically attracted to you, their brain stores you differently, with more attention, more detail, more weight. Here's the truth no one tells you. Attraction isn't always about appearance. It's about presence. The way you carry silence, the way you listen, the way you exist without trying too hard. That energy is rare, and rarity is attractive. So maybe you were never invisible. Maybe you were just looking at yourself from the wrong perspective, because the truth is, you don't experience yourself the way others experience you. And maybe, if you could see yourself through their eyes, even for a moment, you'd finally understand why your presence has always been felt, even when it was never explained. If this resonated with you, don't just like the video. Pause for a second. Really sit with it, because this isn't one of those things you just hear and move on from. This is something you notice in your real life, in your conversations, in the way people look at you, in the moments that used to confuse you, but might start to make sense now. I want you to reflect for a moment. Have you ever walked into a room and felt a shift? Not loud, not obvious, but subtle, like something changed when you entered? Or maybe someone started acting differently around you. They couldn't hold eye contact, or they held it too long. They became awkward, or overly confident, or strangely distant. And you just stood there thinking, what is going on? You didn't understand it, because no one explains these things. No one tells you that sometimes. Your presence alone is enough to move people, to affect them, to stir something in them they don't fully understand. And if you've experienced that, even once, I want you to be honest about it. Not to impress anyone, not to prove anything, just to become aware. So tell me in the comments, have you ever noticed people acting differently around you, but you couldn't explain why? And what did it feel like? I read everything. Not just the words, but the patterns, the experiences, because sometimes the things we think are just in our head are actually the most real things about us. So go ahead. I'm listening.